Hey, what's going on, everybody? Been a while since I updated you, I guess. This is Eric Helms, for those who don't know who I am, which I don't know why you'd be watching this video if you didn't. I guess one of these days I'm going to have to figure out that I don't necessarily need to do an intro each time I speak on my own YouTube channel. So, anyway, back to what the hell I was going to talk about. Haven't updated you guys in a while. And I really felt kind of the need to, since I wouldn't be out here in New Zealand if I hadn't gotten the support of a lot of friends, families, and honestly people who I don't know personally, but have just liked what I've been doing and wanted to help me to try to do more of it. So I just wanted to keep everyone in the loop with how my my graduate work is going and the research that's going to be a part of that. And also just how the heck I'm doing out here in the Southern Hemisphere. So yeah, as you guys know from my videos about like fundraising for my research, I'm going to be looking at lean body mass and performance in a like calorically restricted strength athletes. So basically, kind of telling us what happens in that condition, and then what happens when you try different protein intakes, and how does that affect things. So right now I'm getting the ethics approval done, and no snags anticipated, and we're working on that right now. I'm going back and forth with my advisors as far as editing it and making sure I take care of all of the specific things to doing it here. There's some interesting stuff in New Zealand that has to do with making sure that Maori population is also given equal participation and protection and partnership and research and a number of other interesting things. But basically, whenever you do research, you have to get it ethically approved, and it normally also ends up happening at a point at which if it's a student research project like mine, it's where the actual proposal is going to get really refined down, and you actually get an idea of exactly what your methods are and what you're going to do from the point at which you start recruiting subjects to emailing with them and figuring out how everything's going to go from the very start of the project to the end. So being kind of a big picture thinker, it's been pretty useful for me in that it's made me kind of think of every single step of the way, from like the flyer I'm going to put up in somebody's gym, or what gyms I'm going to put the flyers up in, to what do we do if we don't get enough participants, or what if they don't meet the entry requirements, or yada yada yada. So nonetheless, things are still going as planned. My master's is going to take 1 year, and it means that we have to be pretty efficient with the experiment, because if we screw it up and have to do it again, I'm not going to have time to write my thesis. So we made the call to remove nitrogen balance, which is probably the most cumbersome testing. And to be honest, the whole reason I wanted to include nitrogen balance was to kind of show that, what its limitations are, and see if there's a discrepancy between actual measures of performance, lean body mass, and whether they were in a positive or negative nitrogen balance, and how that related to protein intake. So, honestly, that kind of methodological quest is probably better suited to something I do that's not a part of my master's or my PhD. So maybe if I stay in research, that's something we can look at. But we decided to remove that. It's not really essential to the question we're trying to answer, and it has the potential to be a low quality, which was the reason I wanted to do it, test that didn't give us a whole lot of information and could be done wrong very easily, and had a whole lot of extra ethical considerations, since you have to collect urine to do it. So yeah, I'd be collecting a bunch of pee, so I'm not too unhappy that I don't have to collect pee. Nonetheless, still doing some cool stuff. Right now we're looking at using an MRI to kind of detect, which is probably the most sensitive instrument as far as what we're trying to detect, is changes in specific areas muscle mass. We can calculate cross-sectional area and muscle volume with a very, very high reliability. So that'll be good. We're also going to be doing some anthropometrics, which is just the measurement of people. There's some like level 3 and level 4 International Society of Anthropometrists here, which just means the people who are like the best in the world at doing girth measurements, skin fold calipers, and measuring like bone lengths and all this kind of cool stuff. And I've been looking at some of the research that kind of validates that. When it's done really well, it can be just as efficient as, just as accurate as something like hydrostatic weighing, or even some other higher quality methods. You can do some cool stuff with a girth, a caliper measurement, and a bone length, and you can calculate like the muscle, the volume of muscle in like the thigh, and some other neat stuff like that. So we're going to figure out what we're going to do there, but we're going to have some very good things in the end. I think we're going to have reliable measures of body composition, and we're going to be able to check specific changes in muscle mass in the area that we MRI. And then we're also going to do like some performance measures, like 1 rep max bench, squat, anaerobic power, and then also power, just like a jump test. I think we're going to use a force plate or maybe a Vertec, I'm not sure yet, or maybe both. Even talking about possibly doing some, although I haven't talked to my advisors yet, I just talked to another guy in the lab, maybe doing some metabolic testing while we're there. But that's all in the works. I know I tend to try to take on more than I can, so definitely going to be doing body comp, MRI, and performance, and perhaps some other things. So that'll be cool. We're looking at getting the ethics approved and actually doing the study probably end of the year. In the meantime, I'm also doing some pretty cool stuff on more of a kind of like a paper writing kind of thing, like on different topics. Probably going to get a public access journal article published through the NSCA called Hot Topics. They basically do these free online evidence-based short review articles or short topic articles that are really relevant to like strength conditioning practice. So check that out. It'll be accessible by everybody. I'm going to write on a pretty cool topic related to like autoregulatory strength training, so that'll be pretty neat. And then the work that I've done with Aragon and Fitchin, the bodybuilding paper, that thing is, I think it's awesome. I think it's a really good review. And right now we're negotiating what journals we want to submit to and how we want to organize the paper. It looks like it might need to be made into 2 papers, possibly. I don't want to go into it too much as it's still in the preliminary works, but we are probably close to submitting maybe all of it or half of it pretty soon. It's just a matter of getting it organized. So some pretty cool stuff that's going to come out just from doing a lot of lit review, and then I'll be doing the actual research and study that I came out here to do for my master's end of the year, and it will probably go into the beginning of next year. I think all in total the intervention will take a couple months. It's a crossover study design. There's a 1-month washout period, so 2-3 months, I think. And then it'll be just a big process of kind of analyzing the data, and I'm finding that you just have to know some math, man. Stats. Like, confidence intervals and most measurable, like, worthwhile effects or all kinds of stuff, and making sure you have enough subjects to have the appropriate power to make any kind of conclusion of your study, and making sure it's valid and reliable, all this stuff. So yeah, that's probably one of my weaker areas academically is math. So anyway, working on that. Some personal growth there. Some painful personal growth. So yeah, personal life is doing really well. My wife and I are getting along really great out here. It's a beautiful country, and we're moving into the spring. Yeah, it's not the same seasons. It's kind of cool. I really like Auckland. It's a big city, but not too big for a guy who's used to the Bay Area. It's actually not a very big city, so it's kind of just the right size for me. And it's close to everywhere because it's New Zealand. It's not huge, and everywhere is green and beautiful. And just got to find the time when the weather's right, and you can go out and see some amazing things. There's a reason why they film Lord of the Rings down here. So yeah, loving the area, and the people are just incredibly generous, very straightforward, and that's kind of a breath of fresh air sometimes, I think. And as far as like me as an athlete, definitely been kind of on a bodybuilding tip with my training lately, and really enjoying it. I think this is probably the best my physique has been. Walking around in the mid 200s. Well, yeah, if you're an IFBB pro, that means like 250. For me, it means in between 200 and 210. So yeah, not the mid 200s, like 205 to 206 or so, and not nearly as chunky as I thought I might be getting here. Had some pretty good PRs in the gym. I did like 102.5 kilos for a couple sets of 10 on bench. For you Americans, for us Americans. For the non-kilo initiated, that's like, I think 230, 231 or something like that. So that's pretty good for me there. Keeping my volume pretty high, keeping my frequency pretty high, and kind of auto-regulating when I need to deload or back off. Keeping my shoulders healthy. I had a real good squat session recently, and I've been meeting a lot of people locally here. I met the head of the INBA chapter out here in New Zealand. Getting in touch with the Auckland Powerlifting Association, which oddly enough is called the APA, but it's not the APA, because that's an American powerlifting association. And the APA here, the Auckland Powerlifting Association, is actually an arm of the IPF. So they do like drug-tested powerlifting around here, and they actually drug test in like the off-season and stuff. So, or at least they say they do. Well, maybe they actually do. That'd be kind of cool. And the powerlifting scene here is real underground, real small. But like I think the best 198er here has, well, he's a raw drug-tested 198er, has like a 1320 total. So good for raw and drug-tested, but not someone who would be the best in a federation in the States. So I'm hoping to be the best in New Zealand, and be that big fish in the small pond. So no, but I just am really looking forward to competing, and we're actually looking to maybe organize a meet. I've gotten in pretty good with the local YMCA, and some of my friends and fellow colleagues are working there. So that'll be really cool. As far as 3DMJ, we just had like one of our quarterly or monthly meetings. I don't know. They're not actually quarterly or monthly. They're just frequent and happen maybe every couple months or monthly. And I Skyped in, and it worked great. It was really good to see the guys, and I think being able to see everybody over Skype has helped me not be homesick, and stay in touch with people. And I've been doing a lot of Skyping with my clients lately, and I think that's really valuable. Being a coach is so much more than, working with science. Really, you're working with people is what it is, And I get that starkly contrasted now that I go to work at AUT and do researchy stuff, and then I will be actually coaching people, and they interact in some ways, but they're very different skill sets, and I'm kind of still learning the ropes on bridging them and seeing how to do the scientist thing. So anyway, I'm rambling because it's what I do, but yeah, just want to let everyone know I'm doing well. The research is coming underway. My training's going well. Still enjoying working and living out here and everything, and as always, appreciate the support, and I will keep you in the loop, and look out for that NSCA article probably in the next couple months, maybe published end of the year or January. I'm not horribly sure, but that'll be pretty cool. I really like the article. It's short, sweet, and it's got some good stuff in it. So yeah, I'm recording this on my phone, so I'll have to figure out how to upload it onto YouTube, but peace out.